I'm such a mess. Oops. Um, No one. No one. I'm going to end that soon. Hi, Daisy. Sorry, I didn't notice that you are here. I was like, oh, there's no one, so I'm going to like going about my stuff around. So how are you? I wonder if anyone else is joining us. Let me know if you have any questions as well for the poll series or the last day, the last video. If there's any questions, you can let me know and then I can answer for you. So the last day is about, tapping into our different senses and to really channel all those information that you receive. Like, channel all those messages that you have received via writing, there's no limited ways to how you can channel the message. So sometimes we channel better when we are just talking about it. Sometimes we are channel better by just typing or writing, so there's no limit. So I feel like, there is a lot of limitation people are putting around themselves on how they should channel the Akasha records, especially with receiving the messages. Sometimes that people are just like thinking that it's only via hearing, while messages can come in images, messages can come in all the different via already. Sometimes feeling like, feeling the energy, which is something that I'm actually very strong at. I didn't expect that at first because I'm always more clear audience as well. And like listening to the message is something that I am very like attuned to, but at the same time it is not limited to that. So a lot of times actually messages come in like you just know things, claircognizant. Like claircognizant, the strong, like some of the very strong and crazy example that I have is that I can just go to go to have a nap and I wake up with a new knowledge and I didn't even know that before my nap. So yeah, the important thing is about not doubting that when that comes in. And it's very easy to doubt because we are being programmed to only know something when we are taught, but we can know something without prior experience with that as well. Mm. So I think this is a very important one and it could be very helpful as well. Let me know if you have any question. Also, I think I talk about you can actually set your terms and condition with the records. Like if you're more comfortable getting your messages via maybe clairaudience, you can ask the records like, hey, I am more comfortable with hearing the message. So maybe can you convert, all your messages via hearing, like via like, audible, like either sound, or images, so that you can understand them better. You can also do that. Instead of letting them run the show, you can actually put down your foot and like, hey, like I'm more comfortable with this. So can we have an agreement to do this? Let me know if you're still here. You have any question? Anything that I can add on to, if there's anything that I was unclear in my video or something like that? Yeah, it's a good time to ask. Because I'm on live, like, answering question, and I don't have much of anything to add. I think the last video is quite self-explanatory so far. But yeah, if you have anything you want to discuss, you want to bring up, we can totally do that. It's quiet here. John is not here today. Oh, love to hear that. I hope this helps you with your like your access to the records as well. I think I really, really want everyone to have the chance to connect with the records, especially on the one-on-one basis. That would be very good. And yeah, like have more confidence because you are channeling the records. You have been channeling the records since, for a very long time. Most of us have been and connected with the records. So like don't feel that you have to be something special to to be able to channel them or to be able to connect with them, because everyone have the connection with the records. It's just whether you want to have conscious one, or you are just like, connect with them, like, on a subconscious level. That will still work as well. Like there's so many artists, so many singer songwriter, even like, book writers outside. They are actually connecting to the records, but on like a subconscious level. Even they don't even know that they're connecting to the records, but they're doing that. So yeah, like we all have our connection. It's different for everyone because it meant to be, because we are different people. Okay, for clairaudience, what I have discovered is that when I have clairaudience, it's usually hearing voices inside your head. And that could a lot of time be confused as your own voice. Outside do happen too. It depends, but usually for me, because I'm more clairaudience, usually I hear the voices like inside my head. It's like something that we can make up, that it is something that, yeah, simply that we think that it is something that we can imagine out of nowhere. But yeah, it can be a clairaudience, like it is a clairaudience message. Because what kind of God or Akashic records, if they're so powerful, why can't they use our imagination to tell us a story, to tell us the message? They are powerful, and they're powerful enough to use our own voice as well, like to sound like our own voice. But they would never say anything in like to beat you up or anything. Like they would never go into the punishment energy. That is a big no. Like if you think that your voice about how bad you are doing, and that you deserve punishment, like you don't deserve, you don't have the right to connect with them, all of those would not be them, because they are never that punishment energy. They are there to hold space for us to grow into our greater potential. They know our greater potential, and they know that we have to go through challenges, and we have to decide for ourselves, when we are able to be or step into that greatness. They actually see us in the greatness already. It's just whether we want to step into that. So they usually is like holding the space. They won't be it. A lot of time the Akashic records, I would say, they don't even influence us unless we are really desperately, like, we have to ask them for help a lot of times. Like they will prefer to take either like a background position and observe us, what are we doing. But of course, sometimes they will step in as well and give you an alternative perspective. Yes, it like talk to yourself in your head like that too. So sometimes the voice you hear inside your head is not just you. Sometimes it's them. And sometimes it could be your voice, but you're channeling them. And I guess that is where the confusion comes in. Like people would think that the Akasha records sound a certain way, but they don't. A lot of time, the Akasha records just sound like me. Like me, I'm talking to myself. But I am using, maybe I'm probably writing some really nice sentences, like, you know, then I know it's them. Because for me, I would never sound that way. I would never write things that way. So and I also like, you know, tell them like, you know, you should make my sentences sound a little bit more eloquent when, you know, you're talking to me, because otherwise I would think that that's me, you know. I'm the, like in my head, I'm the crazy person who talk nonsense. Yes, a lot of people actually do connect with the Akasha records without knowledge. Like I do too. Like I especially do that when I am in when I'm doing examination, and I will just sit there and I channel the answer. Like out of nowhere I'll be knowing the answer. Or the most recent one is when I learned Japanese, and I swear I have never learned that grammar. Okay, so they will come up with new grammar, and I have never learned that grammar, but I know how to use it. So I was just like, I don't know where this come from, but yay! I don't need to spend more time to examine that grammar. You know, usually I will spend hours or even days doing research and then to examine the grammar and how to use it. But because my connection with the Akasha record, sometimes I just know how to use it, and I was just like, okay, we'll just leave it as it is, because somehow I understand and somehow I can use it. Like, so yeah. So a lot of us do connect with the records, like without knowing, without the pathway prayer. Yes, pathway prayer is not the only way to access the records. There are other, like, you know, one of the famous Akasha records practitioner. He actually just access the Akasha records when he's in sleeping or in hypnosis. You would know Edgar Cayce. Yeah, so he just, like, when he's asleep, he will be channeling a lot of things via the, like, from the Akasha records. Just he fell asleep. And sometimes he is like gone into hypnosis, and then he would channel a lot of things from the Akasha records as well. I know that pathway prayer is made popular by Linda Howe. But a lot of us have other ways to connect with the Akasha records. Some of us actually do meditate, and then we can access the Akasha records as well. Yeah, some of us can just, like, you know, sing and dance and something like that, and then we connect with the Akasha records, channel information from them. So yeah, like, don't don't limit yourself to one method. I think that is very important, because we all are different people, different person, and we are able to channel the records on different ways. But of course, as I mentioned, like, the records do have a set guidelines, they have set rules. Okay, those rules and guidelines, I think that is important to upkeep as well, because they are here to protect us. Like, one of the guidelines is that they will say that to not drink alcohol or have recreation drugs before, like, at least 8 hours or 24 hours before the Akashic session, before you do your own Akashic session, or you do Akashic session for other people. Okay, and also the one about asking for consent before you access Akash records of other person. like consent is very, very important, because without consent, you might not be you might be channeling the records, but not of the person's records. So the things that you channel might be true, but might not be true as well. So like they always like to say, like, you know, the guidelines of like all those rules, right, they put down like for us to follow is like, you know, it's like there are rules for driving, for safe driving. Like you have to put on your seat belt, you have to make sure that you are how to say, like you're not drunk when you're driving, that you have to put signal and this and that, right? There are a lot of rules for driving. It's the same thing. Like going up to the Akasha records, they are kind of like a rules too. Like you abiding by the rules, like kind of like doing as the rules say, help us to have to cultivate that safe environment for us to properly assess the records and to do work in them. Okay, but if you do not do them, okay, if you do not obey the rules, like sometimes you see people drive, like they will drive ruthlessly, and they're still fine. Like they are still fine. Like in a way is that they would be still fine until they are not fine too. You know, it's like there are a chance, if you're not abiding to the rules, there are chance for things to go wrong. If you're abiding to the rules, then the things will be safe and it won't go wrong. You know, there's this like they always say that rules are not meant to limit us, but it is to keep us safe, and it's guidelines. And we can of course adapt the rules to fit us over time, because you know time change, so rules can change too. But some of the rules that they won't change, because it is still safer for us to abide with that. So I hope that makes sense. One thing that I actually like half getting when I was talking about that. Oh yes, you can also do energy work in the Akashic record still. Okay, because the Akashic realm is actually made of pure energy. Okay, and hence energy work can happen in the Akashic light, but only energy work that is of the greatest and highest good, like it obeys the frequency of the Akashic records. And if you are able to, like you will know if you're able to do energy work with them, like inside the records, you will know. You will just automatically want to do it, and you can try. They will always say like go and try and see how it works. Okay, and you can, I would highly recommend, if you want to try anything in the record, do it in the record in the Akashic light, because that the Akashic light is keeping us protected as well. I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps. Like Akashic energy work is something that I have a lot of fun doing, even though that when I first started with the Akashic course, I didn't know that, you know, it's encouraged, because it's always about information. Okay, what the book that I read from Denise also, I find that it's a lot about information, about channeling information to help us. But you know, you can actually make use of the Akashic light and do energy work as well. It's like in a way you can do that, as long as it's aligned to the greatest and highest good, and to the integrity of the Akashic records as well. Because the Akashic records is incorruptible. The Akashic records keeper might, you know, act somewhere so that you will make mistake, like human mistake. But if that happens, it's because you know, they want you to learn the lesson in like physical experiences as well. Physical experiences can be it actually is as important as messages. Akashic like Reiki, but Akashic version. Okay, so I see Akashic light as in something that is, I wouldn't say that it's Reiki, but Reiki is from the same source as well. That's what I understand. Like the Akashic light is from the source energy. Reiki is from the same source. So I think there is a similarity with them, but the Akashic light is more like holding the space for us to explore. And Reiki is something that we can use to channel it to, different parts of our physical body and help to move that the energy inside there. Like we can also channel Akashic light into healing, but usually people don't do that. Like the Akashic light is amazing. It is like, you can just open it and have it surrounding you, and that itself is healing. Does that make sense? I kind of like seeing them like same thing, they're from the same source, but it is being used different way. Kind of like I can't even explain that. I need to like sit with myself and truly like channel the message, like the differences, and then maybe I will post a tweet or blog about that. But yeah, they are from the same source, but it's different. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, you can do energy work within the Akashic light, as long as it is, upkeeping the integrity and incorruptibility of the Akashic records. Like, do not corrupt the Akashic records, because yeah, like we can't. Like we are just mere human too. We can't. Okay, and not even a lot of the Akashic records can corrupt the Akashic records. It is, it is of pure light. And when you get deeper into it, yeah, you will find that, Akashic records, they are of truth, okay? But what is truth? Truth, there are many layers, okay? And you will actually find yourself down the rabbit hole to unveil, like, to take back the layers of truth and to know things that is like on a deeper and deeper and deeper level. And when you are there, you probably like seeing things less of black and white, good and bad, because everything just is. That is basically the main message of the Akashic record so far that I learned, is that everything just is. Like it doesn't really matter which polarity or what it is, it just is. I love like sitting with the Akashic records keeper and just like letting them blow my mind and giving me that truth, their version of truth that is like sometimes it's like I would say morally unacceptable on earth at the moment, but it is truth. So I like them, like they will provide something like a bigger picture of things. Like, a lot of times for us, we would tend to look at things from one angle. It's like we are very, focused on that one part of a pie, like a tiny slice of a pie, and we miss out the rest of them. Like especially when you are having some sort of bad experience, we will be focusing on that bad experience, and it can be just a slice of the pie, when there is the whole part of the pie is still nice, and if of different perspective we don't see that. So I like to use the record that way to actually allow me to see the bigger picture in that way. Like instead of focusing on that little part, we see the bigger part. I think that is the way that I like to use the Akashic record. But if you want to use the other ways, you can do so as well. Check with them, like how is it best for you to use the records? Like in what way they can help you with your life? I think that would be a really nice question to ask. There is this like I think Laurentia actually start asking like anyone want to do practice on each other, like you guys can do that. Practicing on each other also, you don't have to do it on live. I prefer to do it on live, like face to face, and then I can talk, like I can channel, and then you can the person can answer, like whether it's resonate with them or not, because sometimes I do still need or I do still search for that affirmation. Okay. But yeah, you can also do that on like chat, as long as you have the person consent to do so, you can access their Akashic records and actually channel for them. You can, but yeah, I think the more powerful one is like in person. The most powerful is in person, because you have like most like closest connection to them. Okay. And next is like face to face. Okay. And then of course it's distant, like you don't see each other. That is personal interpretation. Okay. Also because of the if you have soul connection with the person that you're channeling with, you find yourself channeling for them like so much like deeper too. For those you have soul connection with, like your soulmate, like your twin flame, if you have one. Let me know if you have anything, other things that you want to ask. I like the two methods that they send to us, like just get a notebook and write down whatever that comes into your mind, like just write it down without caring like whether it makes sense or not. Just write it down, and those are the information you're channeling. Or just turn on your voice recorder and start speaking, even though it's nonsense, even though you're just making a series of noise without actually having it being words. It doesn't matter. If you are starting to channel like voice, like just like random tone without it being physical word, like human words, maybe that is the time you should look into light language. And light language can come in a lot of different forms as well. And sometimes the Akasha records do channel in light language, because words can be a bit limiting. That's what I have found, is like words can be limiting, because we can only use so much words, and some of the words does not even make pure sense. Like it's like some of the words that we use right now in modern days, it is not even the actual meaning of the word when it's being created. So word can be a bit limiting in a way. Yeah, and a lot of misconception inside there. But yeah, if you start to channel light language, you can be channeling light language as in talking, saying random words, random tone, not even words that doesn't make sense. Or you would channel light language like hand movement, that works too. Okay. Or body movement, that works too. Okay. Or some channel light language in colors too. So if you feel called to, like you open your records and that you feel like you just want to take your highlighter, your colors, and start writing, you can do that too. And yes, you can talk to them in any language, any at all. They understand. To them, language is, yeah, not an issue. They actually read the energy. From what I see is that when we talk to them, they read the energy of the words that we put in, like the intention and the energy. That's why it's also very important for us to be present when we are channeling them. Because when we are present, our energy can translate better compared to if we are just like, not being in the present when we're doing that. Let me know if you have other questions. There's about a minute's delay. So yeah. else do I want to talk about? Guys, what else do you guys want to talk about? Oh, also, I'm hearing the records like telling me that to tell everyone to stop, stop seeing them as someone who is going to police you, someone who is going to judge you for what you have done. Like, if you have anything, you can be honest with them. They know, okay? And yeah, like the more honest you can be with yourself too, that will help you to evolve and heal and grow so much faster. Okay. And being with them, like, you don't have to filter yourself sometimes. Like, I think a lot of us try to filter ourselves and put on our best face when we are with the outside, when we are talking to someone from the outside. But with them, they're saying that is no need. Like, just be yourself, and that will be great. Be yourself and be honest with you. They actually encourage that a lot. And also, don't see them as someone who would judge and police you. They are not going to do that. They're only seeing the greatest potential in you. And yeah, like they say that they serve no purpose judging you. I think that is a very good note that they want to leave to us. Like, they serve no purpose judging us. Like, why would they want to judge us? So, like, yeah, be frank with them, be honest with them, be yeah, just think of them as good friends. Okay. And sometimes this good friend, they will say things that you don't really like to hear, because they want the best for you. And sometimes this good friend will hold space for you to grow and to fall down on your face, because yeah, they don't want to influence our mindset. They rather us to you know go through the experience to learn the lesson. Experience is a great teacher. Like, life is a great teacher, and they won't want to take away from us. There's I will think that Akasha Records is my best friend, but this best friend is, they let us be ourselves. They let us, go and fall on our face, and you'll be fine. Like, sometimes they will be like, we'll caution you, but if you do not want to hear that, it's okay, go and do whatever you want. And if you fall on your face, there you go. And it's not saying that they are doing it out of spite or anything, but it is actually, yeah, life is a greater teacher than anyone could ever be. They just say that I should leave it with that notes, and if you have any questions, you can ask. If not, then yeah, I think today's live, there's nothing much else that I want to add to it as well. But you can always yeah, you can still always reach out to me. The group chat will still remain there, and maybe I will do another 5-day challenge again next time. I don't know, not sure yet. Okay, but if I do, you will see me posting it on Twitter and everything, and you guys can join and have fun again. Let me know if you have anything else. Otherwise, I'll be ending the live today. You can also share your experience. Yeah, share anything at all. You're welcome. Thank you, Daisy. I'm looking forward to see your growth. And yeah, please feel free to use the chat and, practice and have fun. You don't have to, it's a safe space. Okay. And this space is also provided by the Akasha Records, and they are actually overlooking everything. So, practice and have fun and make mistakes. Okay. Fall on your face is okay. Falling on our face is the greatest teacher. So fall on our face, it's okay. I do that too. Like sometimes I fall on my face and I'm just like, whatever happened? And I will go back and look at it. Okay. So yeah. If there's nothing else, okay, I'll be seeing you guys in the chat. Feel free to use it. Feel free to contact me via Discord as well. I'll be on Discord. Like I'm still on Twitter, but DM sometimes I might or might not look at it. So yeah, if you want to have question, you want to post it on the chat, you want to DM me there, it's okay. Okay. Looking forward to see your growth, and let me know if you want to practice, or if you want to practice on me too. I'm always open to for open for practices. Okay. So looking forward to see you soon. Bye.